My name is Melanie.
And I'm Michael.
And this is Uplift Stitches. This is a place where we talk about cross-stitching, crafting, board gaming, and all of the things that make our hearts happy. We're so glad that you're here with us today. This is episode number 3. Today is Saturday.
It is.
November 11th,
Yes,
2023.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the life adventures we've had over the last month. It's been a little over a month since our last video. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to get to our cross stitching, which actually we have quite a bit of this time.
A lot of cross stitching.
Yeah, I mean I have more projects than I've ever had going.
And I started all of the things.
So yeah, we have lots to talk about with cross stitching, but we'll just talk a little bit about some of the life events that happened this last month.
Yeah, we'll start with that.
So the beginning of this month, I had a birthday, and we got together with family to celebrate my birthday.
It was such a great day.
Yeah, I mean we had good food. I made chili, and Melanie made a carrot cake, which I requested. One of my favorite. So we just visited all day. It was just great to get together, just have time together with family. Yeah. It always is. Mm-hmm. After that, we had a game day the following weekend with our friends Will and Shay. Yep. And there was gaming pretty much all day.
I think they got here at 10 a.m. and left at 10 p.m. and we played games just the 12 hours in between.
The only breaks really was just for food, and often we were eating while we were playing. So, so it was a great day. And
we also had some other get-togethers with family and friends, and that was good this month.
We did, and then we're a little late this month because we had our anniversary trip, and we wanted to get that through that.
Yeah, I just wasn't going to have enough time to film and edit before our trip, so I thought I would wait till after.
Yeah, so it was we always do a surprise trip. Each one of us plans it and doesn't tell the other one.
Yeah, we take turns each year.
So this year was mine, and I took her to Fultz, Illinois, which is this tiny little town, population 38. But we spent a lot of time in the local areas. There was a reenactment that I wanted to take her to that was going on, just happened to be around our anniversary. It was like the 1700s at an old French fort, and then we spent a lot of time going around looking at antiquing. We took some time to relax and play some games. And
the trees, I think, were just past their peak, but they were still really beautiful. Just driving on the country roads and seeing all those.
Yeah, it was a beautiful area and a beautiful time of year to be there. So it was really nice and quiet.
It was a nice, relaxing time together.
Well, relaxing until we had to go home.
Well, yeah. Well, a couple days before we were coming home, I started feeling sick. So I'm sorry my voice is a little bit scratchy today. Yeah. And there might be some awkward pauses for me to cough and drink. But yeah, I'm feeling much better. But the last few days of our trip, I was feeling a little rough.
She was feeling a little rough, and then we also had we had a sorry, our neighbors are waving at us. We had a little adventure on the way home. We were getting ready to leave, and we had a flat tire.
Yeah, there was a gravel driveway, and we started driving, and I think we both looked at each other like, "Does that sound louder to you than I remember it being when we drove down this road yesterday?"
Yeah, so we discovered we had a flat tire. We did not have we didn't really have a jack or anything, so we had to call AAA.
Unfortunately, my spare was flat also. So
yeah, so AAA came. It took them a couple hours to get there, and we had to drive all the way back to our mechanics. Fortunately, he was able to get us in to get an actual replacement. But going on one of those temporary tires, probably a good maybe 100 miles.
No, it was less than that.
It was pretty decent.
I don't know. It was a stressful drive.
It was a stressful drive over.
We were both glad to be home.
So it was a really great trip, stressful drive home, and we were glad to be back, though. Yeah. Halloween before that actually was uneventful.
Oh, yeah. We didn't have any trick-or-treaters.
We had, 0 trick-or-treaters. We just watched some Halloween stuff. And
I don't really do scary.
No.
So we watched the Great Pumpkin and
Garfield's
Halloween, and the Pumpkin Who Couldn't Smile.
So that was it for Halloween and our anniversary. It was a great anniversary trip, I think. So
we had a good month. There was a lot of quiet.
Definitely.
We enjoyed the fall.
So
it's still here.
It's still here. Fall is my favorite time of year. I always look forward to this time of year with all the different things that go with the fall. The s'mores and the chili and carrot cake and pumpkin and all the turning trees. It's just my favorite time of year. So. So I think that's it for major life events that happened.
Yeah.
And then now we can turn to what everybody's waiting for, which is the cross stitch.
So we thought we'd start with
fully finished.
Sorry, did I cut you off?
Nope. You're good. So I have a full finish. It is a Mill Hill kit that I started.
You stitched this back in August?
Yeah, stitch in August.
I remember you stitching it.
I started it, when did I start this?
Maybe it was a Christmas in July start?
Maybe it was a Christmas in July start. That's what it was. So I started, it's a small kit. It's called Christmas Eve. It's a Mill Hill bead kit.
This is what he's looking at.
Yeah, that is what I'm looking at. And so this is the finish. And I did it as a magnet. So I just did some felt paper on the back.
Yeah, we used adhesive felt.
And
I had a few different colors, and Michael thought that the red one looked the best.
Yeah, so I always like the Mill Hill kits, so this will be a nice one for our Christmas coming up, which is coming up soon.
Yeah. We are team wait till after Thanksgiving.
Yes. So there will be nothing up for Christmas until after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We just got our Thanksgiving stuff up now. So
yeah, we just put it up yesterday.
so that was my fully finished object.
I had a whole bunch.
She has a whole bunch.
I started and finished 3 things to fully finish.
Yeah.
But I also, in the process of doing that, looked through my drawer. I call it my drawer of great potential. It's all of the things that I finished that haven't fully finished yet. So one of the things that I pulled out of that drawer was this piece. I don't have a cover photo for it, but it was a secret stitch along by Satsuma Street. I think in 2021. And so I knew that I wanted to turn it into a funky little pillow, and I had this fun red pom-poms, and I found this fabric that kind of went with it, and I made a little pillow out of it. So I know I stitched this on a 32 count Zweigart charcoal was the name of it, and I used the called for DMC threads from our pattern. So that was my first fully finished. And then as I said, I had 3 start and finish to fully finish.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So the first one is Boo by Hello from Liz Mathews. And here is my finish. It looks very similar. I stitched this on 32 count Pastel Lilac by Zweigart. And I used all the called for Weeks Dye Works threads. And then I finished it. I had this, I don't remember where I got that fabric from, and this Lady Dot chenille trim. I'm happy with it. I think it's lovely. It was a good, quick stitch. Then I stitched Troublemakers by Petal Pusher. And this one I also decided to turn into a little pillow. So I stitched this on 32 count Apparition by Color and Cotton. And I used all of the called for DMC threads. And then I used that same Lady Dot trim and another fabric. I just love these little, like, troublemaking crows having a snack. And then the third one is Squirrel Frolic by the Mindful Needle. And this one I stitched on 36 count Cookie Dough by Needle Bling Designs. And I used some called for threads and some other threads. I think I just kind of looked at my overdyeds and picked colors that were close to what was called for and went with that. And I'm happy with it. And this is one of those trims from that pack I got from Michael's of assorted orange and cream and brown, I think, colors. And then this fabric. Cute little squirrels. We have a bunch in our yard.
Yes.
And those are all my fully finishes.
Yeah. So a lot of full finishes.
Yeah.
I know I have at least one finish.
Yeah, we both have finishes.
I don't have a lot of finishes. I have a finish, but that kind of goes with a lot of the stuff I stitch anyway. So, yeah. So I'll go ahead and grab that. Okay, so this pattern is called Spooky Welcome by Stony Creek. So this is the pattern here. And I started this one last year. Yeah. And I started a little bit before Halloween, and I put it away because
I think you received the pattern as a gift.
Probably for my birthday.
No, it was for my parents. It was a housewarming gift. They got us each a cross-stitch pattern that had houses on it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So but I didn't start it until almost Halloween.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'm going to put it away until the following year. So I took it out this year and I finished it, and I stitched it on 18 count Moon Glow by Picture This Plus, and I think it turned out pretty well.
It's so nice, Michael.
She helped me get the buttons for it. Those bats are actually buttons, but the rest of it, there's a little customization to this. I made a couple small miscounts on the top part of the house, which I had to adjust for, but it turned out really well. So that was my.
And you stitched this with.
I stitched it with
Anchor black.
Anchor black, yes.
Mm-hmm. And you used one thread.
I did the whole thing with one thread. I like one thread a lot, so especially on 1820 count. Mm-hmm. So it turned out really nice. I was really happy with it.
Show people some more. They gotta see it. It's just so nice. I got a frame to put it in, but unfortunately the frame was the wrong size. So
yeah, we'll get a frame for next year.
It's not fully finished, but it's finished for now.
I actually signed it. I don't always sign a lot of my works, but I actually did sign this one because I was pretty happy with it. So I was pretty pleased with that.
You should be.
And then now we have.
I had two finishes. So at some point in the middle of the month, I decided to pull out my Little Sheep Virtues by Little House Needleworks, and I did Gratitude and Knowledge. And I'm stitching all of these on 32 count Ren by Picture This Plus. So here's Kindness. And I have the buttons, but I haven't added them on yet because I'm waiting until I decide how I'm going to finish them all. Here's Gratitude.
Yeah, those turned out really nice.
Two more sheep.
Two more.
I think I have five more to go. 4 more to go. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
We'll find out.
She has more to go.
I figure I'll pull out the winter ones in the winter time, and then I'll probably be done by March with all 12 of them.
Yeah, probably so. So, okay, I think that's all of our finishes. So fully finished and finishes are done. We have our starts / works in progress. Yeah. I did stitch on one work in progress, but the other ones are all actual starts for me, which is kind of surprising. I usually keep 2 or 3 whips going at a time.
Yeah.
I think I have 5 or 6 going.
It's a lot.
Double my whip count. I know that's not a lot for a lot of people, but
it's a lot for you.
It's a lot for me. I tend to stitch on bigger projects, so I usually am pretty content to have 1 or 2 stitches to projects. So, first couple are Mill Hills that I had started. One is a Christmas gift. I don't think she'll see this probably, so I feel okay showing it. This one is called the Proud Penguin. Let's see. Yep, there he goes. He's not. I got all the actual stitching done. I just have the beading to go before I can cut it out and fully finish. So this will be a Christmas gift for my mom. So
are you gonna show the stitching?
I can show the stitching. Sorry. It doesn't look like a whole lot because it doesn't have the beads yet. So this part here is actually like a little iceberg maybe, and then the penguin is going to be standing on it when it gets done. But so it's turning out nice. It stitches really quickly. It's a small one. So the other one I started on our anniversary trip was called Santa's Treats. It's also a Mill Hill kit. So this is the actual pattern.
We had watched a Mill Hill parade.
We did. Who was that?
I think it was Calico and Whimsy. I think it was right before Halloween we watched that, and I think it inspired both of us because we both enjoy the Mill Hills.
I've always liked the Mill Hills. I think the Mill Hills that got me started was a little mouse pattern.
Yeah, but I think Michael's when we watched that video, he was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta pull this out."
Yeah. So this was as far as I got. I got Coco and I got Peppa.
Peppa.
But it's going along pretty nicely. It stitches pretty easily, and I'm sure I'll continue on with that over the next month. I have it done before Christmas. So those are two of mine. Did you want to do a couple of yours, or do you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, we can alternate. So one of the ones that I worked on was the Spooktacular Party by Counting Puddles. I think it's adorable.
These ghosts are super cute.
They're so cute. And I'm stitching this on 28 count slate. 28 count slate by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I'm using all the called for DMC threads. Oh, it's so cute. I stitched on this for just a little over a week, I think. And it's adorable. And it'll come out next year sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a super cute pattern.
Yeah.
So.
And then, oh yeah, here's the threads.
Yes.
There are a lot of oranges and purples. So pretty. Another one I've been working on is Harper's Forest by Petal Pusher. I'm stitching this on a mystery fabric. So I had bought a fabric grab bag from Color and Cotton at some point last year. And this was one of the fabrics that was in that bag. And here's my progress. I'm so close to finished. I was trying to finish last night and then it got to be midnight and I passed out. I just have the tree trunks up here and one little line of roof to finish on the house, and then this will be finished.
I bet someday it'll be fully finished.
Yes, but I started this a couple weeks ago when our trees were at their peak, and it was just so lovely to stitch on this and look out the window and see all the beautiful colors. And I'm so happy with it. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's turning out great. So I think it's great.
And then the last thing, my last start that I had is Flirting Turkeys by Miss Prim. I saw this on a Flosstube. I don't remember which one. I watched so much Flosstube this month. Yeah, I think we both did.
We watched a lot of Flosstube this month.
Flirting Turkeys. So I started this. I brought this on our anniversary trip, and it was my start. And this was all I worked on when we were on our trip. And this is how far I got. This is on 36 count Mellow Stone by Atomic Ranch. I'm stitching with one thread, and I'm using an assortment of threads. Some of them are called for, some of them I just looked in my closet and picked out colors that were similar or close or that I thought would look good. So a couple more days and this will be finished.
Yeah, all of my starts were on our anniversary trip, just I think this time. So I have a few other starts here. I don't have the pattern to show on this one, but that's okay. This one is Chris It Up by Chris. It's by Stitchman Darcy. If you're interested, you can always get that from Ask Chris if you can get Chris Cross Stitch. So I got the head done mostly. But I discovered on the trip, I was so excited when I was packing things up. I didn't bring most of the threads. I just got things figured out, and then I didn't bring all the rest of the threads I needed to get going. So this is as far as I've gotten, but it was a start, and this is on 8. Let's see, what is this on? Where is it? It's down the bottom here. It's on 20 count. It's a white Zweigart. So it's going along well. I'm sure I'll work on that some tonight once I pull the rest of the threads together for it. But I'm enjoying that one. And then I've got this one is Nordic Reindeer by JBW Designs. So this is the actual pattern. We got this at which fair was that? Was that
Galleria last year.
Galleria last year. I just like the way it looked. Nice Christmas pattern. It's small, but instead of the blue, I decided to go with a red fabric, and this one is a 20 count Aida. It's called Cranberry Sauce by Live and Die LA. So this is the actual, as far as a start I've got on it.
It's a good start.
It's a pretty decent start. I stitched quite a bit on that one, so it's turning out nicely. Said this one I really like Live and Die fabric for Aida. They have some really nice colors that I haven't seen anywhere else.
How many threads are you using on that?
This is a one thread, and it's just B5200. So, but I think it looks really nice on the red. So I will probably finish that as a pillow. Let's see what else I got here. Oh, I got this one. This is It's just the threads, but this is a pattern called Love is NES, and it's by Pixel Perfect Patterns. I found this one online. This is what the actual. I'm not actually stitching it as a pattern, so I'm taking the characters that I are familiar with games that I grew up with. Just kind of a small aside here. I still probably veer into my past a little bit, talk about my history with video games, because it's just a little interesting there and back again kind of journey. So growing up, I spent a lot of time playing video games. I mean, the first games I played were Atari, but the ones I remember the most were the original NES. That's really where a lot of my love for video games started. And I know growing up, we had this little cabin by the river, and I remember putting up siding with my dad on it. We did a lot of work on that cabin, but one of the things I remember is when we first got the NES, we brought it out to this clubhouse over by the river, and I must have played hours and hours of Super Mario in that cabin. I think that's one of the memories that stands the most about the NES is that memory of going out to the river, because I always look forward to going out there and just playing. We only had 2 games to start. There was only 2 games at the beginning, and I played a lot of games over the years since then with my friends. My friend Pete and I spent a lot of time playing games in the basement. So that's kind of a little bit of the origin of my game playing. So I saw this pattern. I was kind of partly inspired by Chris Cross Stitch's idea of the Christmas cross stitch tree. That's where the idea came from. So I'm taking these characters to make a long story short. And I'm going to turn them into ornaments. So I'm stitching each of them individually. I'm going to put the name of the game below, and then I think I'm going to finish them with round frames. So this is what I've got. I've got 6 characters so far. So Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Contra, Kirby, Metroid, and Castlevania are the ones that are stitched right here. And this is on. It's a 20 count. Let's see, I think it's a 20 count. Let me look here. Nope, it's actually an 18 count. This is an 18 count slate Aida by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I'm using 2 threads because I really wanted it to pop and stand out against the fabric. I said they're kind of spread apart because I'm going to make them into ornaments rather than using that.
Yeah, we weren't sure how much
space I'll actually need. So I'll probably have different size ornaments. They'll be big, smaller. The smaller guys will have a little bit smaller frames. But, and this is just all the floss that I have. I probably should do what she does with the rings, but I haven't got into that habit yet. So,
yeah.
So that was one of those are all my starts, and I have a work in progress that I worked on, which I actually think makes this, as Chris says, a royal flush cross stitch.
We joked when we watched his video that we were going to have a double royal flush. But I realized that I didn't have any previous webs that I worked on.
Yeah, so.
But I started and finished so many things.
Yes, so we're not at all sad about that, but she just didn't quite have the royal flush. I had the royal flush because I don't.
Michael wins. Michael wins this Flosstube.
So this is one I've been working on for some time. This one is called Winter Fantasy Castle. And it's by Instant Cross Stitch, I think is what.
It doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't exist anymore. And this is, I meant to look this up.
It'll be in the notes below.
We'll put this in the notes on the fabric. I don't remember
I know it's by My Vintage Needle.
It is a 20 count, but I don't remember what the actual fabric is called. Mm-hmm. But it is a huge pattern. This is as far as I've gotten.
And you were working on the tower?
I was working on the tower this week, which is looking really nice. So there is 8 sheets to this, so it's in its full coverage. So it's going to take me a while, probably a multi-year project, obviously, but I enjoy full coverage. Mm-hmm. So this one is turning out nicely so far. So.
And you're using the called for DMCs?
I'm using the called for DMCs, and there are probably 40 something colors I think in this. And
one thread.
And one thread. Lots of color changes. So if you don't like color changes, it's probably not the pattern for you. A lot of confetti. So that is all the stuff I've been working on. So like I said, I have, 6? 5?
A lot.
6? A lot. Way more than I usually have. I'm sure a lot of these will be finished relatively soon, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed. I thought I'd do almost a start a day on the trip, so I brought a lot of different patterns to start on the trip. Okay, so I think that is it for all of our stitching. I have a lot more projects than I've ever had before, and part of that was by design because I thought I'd bring a project a day to start because I don't have never done that and thought I would do something different.
And how did it? What was the experience like for you?
It felt crazy to me because I'm not used to it. I usually, like I said, work on 2 or 3 projects, and yeah. I have a lot big projects, and so they take a long time to do. So it was fun, but I don't know how often I'll do it, but I'll do it. I'm sure I'll do it again at some point.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for all our whips, and then our starts, and then
yeah, those are all the things we worked on.
And then I know you wanted to cover storage.
Yeah, so Michael showed his bag of floss for his NES project. He tends to keep his thread on bobbins.
Yeah.
Our friend Pat, hi Pat, she asked if I would talk a little bit more about the way that we store our threads. So Michael kind of, when he's working on a project like this, he tends to keep his threads in Ziploc bags.
I tend to keep them in Ziploc bags,
or he'll keep them organized on his end table.
Yeah, like this one here that has so many. I have 3 different zip bags, and I kind of have them grouped by color. All the blues are kind of together, and then the purples are all together, and then the other browns and that are, and so that I can know at least what color I'm going for, and I can just go into that bag. It is a little bit more time consuming probably than what she does, but it works for me.
And when you're not using them, you keep them in those little tubs.
Yeah, in the little tubs. For smaller projects, I just have them arranged on the little side table, the threads, but they're all in bobbins. That's what I typically use.
And I prefer having them like this, on a little, what do they call these, floss drop. So I got this idea from Trixie Tricycle, Jody. A Trixie Tricycle. She said that she uses, this is going to be very crinkly because this packaging is crinkly, but she uses these, they're like retail tags from Amazon, and when you order them, there's 300 in a package, so it'll make 150 floss traps. So it lasts me a long time, usually. I think this is only the third pack that I've bought. But I take them, and then you can pull each one off, and then I'll make a little note that's small to put the DMC number inside, and then I'll sandwich these together, and then that's how it makes a clear thing like this. It's just those 2 pieces that are kind of sandwiched together. And then I cut my thread, so I measured, I think, the first few times, and then I just took I took a thread, and this is what I used to measure them all when I cut. So I'll unwind the skein and use this as my little measuring stick, and then I just fold it in half and kind of loop it onto here. It's nice because then when I want a thread, it's cut to a length that I like working with. I don't use the loop method, which some people use, where they'll make the thread really long and then kind of fold it in half, so that it will be 2 threads. But because sometimes I like working with 1 thread and sometimes I like working with 2 threads, it's just easier to use kind of a similar length. So that's how I do that. And then I have a bunch of different sized binder rings that I got, I think also from Amazon. So depending on the project, I'll use either a big one or a small one or a medium one. And then I'll put those floss traps that I'm working on in the project. And then I will make little like notes for myself, the projects that I'm currently working on, if there's a thread that needs to go in something else when I'm done, or, just kind of a reminder like, hey, the brown that's in this project is in this other project, because I don't have more than 1 drop for each color. And then I'm going to insert a picture of the way that I store them in my craft closet. When we built the house, we got our closets done by Container Store. And so I had them put a pegboard in my craft room closet, and then I have pegs, and I just sort them by DMC number. So like all the 300s are on 1 peg, all of the 700s are on 1 peg, and then I do the specialty overdyed threads kind of by dyer. So all of my color and cottons are together, all of my classic color workers are together. like that. You'll see in the picture. So that, I hope that makes sense. But that's kind of the way that we rein in the chaos of the threads.
Chaos. Yeah, I don't have my pre-measured because I use bobbins, obviously, and I usually vary the length depending on how much of the color is being stitched. I do tend to stitch with longer threads than Mel does at times.
He does.
So
there's a few, the Harper's Forest, I was using a few of his bobbins because I just needed a little bit of some of the colors that he had that I didn't have, and I was like, ooh, this is longer than I'm used to.
Yes.
Yeah, but it still works.
So yeah, I mean that's our answer to your question about the storage.
Yeah.
And then I guess we can move on to Stitchy Kindness.
Yeah, we've had some Stitchy Kindness this month.
We've definitely had some Stitchy Kindness. Now this isn't actually cross stitch completely related, but it is a really nice bag that her mom made for me for my birthday. So it's a Snoopy pattern, or a Peanuts pattern, which I loved. It's got some really nice handles. It's a really good size for going to cross stitch fairs, for instance, and getting them whole, obviously. So I really love this bag. I have a couple other smaller ones that she's made for me over the years, but I've always loved the Peanuts, and especially Snoopy. So as I'm wearing them on my shirt as well. So this has been great. I used this at the cross stitch gallery I think we went to. So.
No,
or didn't?
Because that was before.
Oh, that was before.
You used the Halloween one.
I used the Halloween one.
She made him a Halloween one, I think, a few years ago.
The Halloween one's the one I used. So yeah, that's my Stitchy Kindness that I've had.
And then you also received a cross stitch pattern for your birthday.
I did. I received a cross stitch pattern.
It's a Mill Hill kit.
It's a Mill Hill kit. Yeah.
Which we don't have here, but it's on its way.
No, my brother and his wife have it at their house, and at some point I'll have it to show you, but I don't have it here to show you now. So. But you've had some Stitchy Kindness as well to show.
Yeah, so one piece of Stitchy Kindness is this quilt top that's sitting behind us. This was my gift to Michael for his birthday. I haven't finished quilting it. It's a little bit bigger than I am comfortable with doing on my little sewing machine. So I'll probably send it out or wait until I become more skilled to quilt it. But I'll insert some pictures of this quilt top. This was, I think it's called Peekaboo, by Missouri Star Quilt Company. It was a pattern that I found.
Yeah, it's a beautiful pattern. I'm excited to see it.
It's like a huge jack-o'-lantern. So I told Michael in his card that it was so that the Great Pumpkin could come whenever he wants.
Yes. It's very sincere.
Yep, most sincere. And then another gift that we received was from my mom. Hi, Mom. She stitched something for us for Halloween. She has the last few years. So... You said which one?
It was the owl was this time.
Okay, so these are from the Boo Hoo by Luminous Fiber Arts, and this year she gifted us Hoo. She made it into a little pillow. I'm not sure what threads she used, but she does such a lovely job of stitching. And then she used some rickrack and this beautiful fabric. It's so cute. And this last year she did the other pattern from that set, Boo. They're both so cute. And I enjoyed looking at them all season.
Yes, they've been a nice prominent area in our Halloween stuff.
Yep.
So. And then Melanie surprised me. It's craft related. It's not really cross stitch, but it is definitely related.
Yeah, a little bit of kindness.
So last year I had gotten a gift from one of my coworkers.
I think they thought, well, he likes Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
And he likes cross stitch. And this is the same because we've all had that thing where we're doing the craft. I think Shiloh at X Stitch MD talked about this when she was traveling, but you're cross stitching and someone comes up to you and says, "Oh, my cousin knits," and you're like, well, "That's okay." It's not the same, but that's crafting.
Yeah. So I got a diamond painting kit,
right.
Which is really beautiful. And I've never done diamond painting. I'm not terribly interested in starting it, but unbeknownst to me,
yeah, he put it in a drawer. And then I sneaked in and took it from the drawer at some point this summer.
Yes.
I said, I'm going to do this for him.
Yes. So she's been working in secret on this for a while, and she just finished it barely up after. She didn't quite finish it.
I didn't quite finish it in time. I underestimated how long it was going to take me because I've never done this before.
No, neither of us have done.
Yeah, but I figured it was a kit that he received as a gift, so it was a good way for me to try it out and see if I liked it, and I did. I would do it again.
Yeah. So we have it here, but it turned out really nice. I was really excited and surprised. I, of course, love Lord of the Rings. I'm reading it again right now, and I probably have read Lord of the Rings over 20 times, I'm sure, over my lifetime. So obviously I love Lord of the Rings, and this is a perfect gift for me. I had no idea she was doing it. So yeah. I will be hanging that in my office probably this week. Yeah, it's nice and shiny. She finished it in a nice frame.
Yeah, I got a little frame, golden frame.
Yeah. So that was really a nice surprise. But we have, and she has some other.
Yeah, so I think that's all for the cross stitch. I was gonna show
a couple some bags your mom made.
The only bit of haul I got, I bought I did place I think 2 different orders to Top Knot Stitcher Shop. The first one was for some threads that I needed for some of the snow people. So I looked through all of my snow people and got those all kitted up so they're ready to go. I think my plan, so last year I stitched the 12 days of Christmas, starting with Christmas and going after. And I think this year I'm going to do the 12 days of Christmas leading up to Christmas, because after Christmas I'm not going to have a lot of stitching time.
Yeah.
So then the second order I placed was for some other threads that I needed for another project. And then I also, Instagram, I saw there's a Gilmore Girls, Gilmore Isms Stitch Along by Forbidden Fiber Company. Uh-oh. I know. You heard the word in.
Yes.
Yeah. So I saw that. So I ordered that, and I ordered the kit with the fabric and threads. So those will be coming sometime. And I think the Stitch Along begins in January. So I'll have that to look forward to. I've never used Forbidden Fiber Co, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the fabric and floss is like.
Yeah.
And then another order that I placed was to Sweet Autumn Stitch. It's a shop on Etsy. Sorry, there's some trucks driving through. And I ordered a few different zipper fobs and one floss ring. A few of them are going to be gifts, and this one I thought I'm going to put on my anaphora screw, because squirrels, why not?
Squirrels.
And then another one that I ordered, I wanted a Halloween one. So I got this one with this little spider. These are really beautiful. The maker did an excellent job, and they came really quickly. So I think that's all that I purchased stitching wise. And then I also purchased some fabric. I thought I was gonna have some plans for this, and then it came and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it now. It's so cute. Oh my gosh, this is Twas by Jill Howarth. I just love this. This is me. This is me at Christmas. This is how I feel. Ooh, it's so cute. I love it. Santas make me happy. And then I bought the layer cake, so we'll see what I come up with for this.
I'm sure she'll have all kinds of fun stuff with it.
So. It's all just happy
Christmassy
fabric. I'll have fun playing with it sometime. So, do we have stitchy plans? Do we have them up ahead?
I mean, I do have some stitchy plans coming up.
What are you planning?
Well, I know I mentioned last time I mentioned the Sal that I'm going to be joining from a Facebook group. The Hobbit. I forget what it's called. I don't remember. We had it in our notes. I'll put that down in the notes.
Yeah.
You're essentially creating your own Hobbit hole. So I spent some time over the last couple of weeks looking at the patterns, choosing which of the different options I'm going to do, and I printed those out, and I'm gonna get the fabric figured out so I can start the first part is already out. So I need to catch up.
Oh,
Which that'll be another start for me. But I did get all that figured out and printed out, so I just got to get the fabric and get some of the threads together and start stitching it. Mm-hmm. So I will have that as a start this month at some point to try to catch up. Do the top. There's a top and a bottom part I need to do before this next one's released in January, I think. Mm-hmm. That one I learned from Subpar Stitcher. So yeah, so that'll be one of my plans. I'm sure I'll have a few other starts because I have a lot of patterns, and these ones here that I'm working on will be finished, I'm sure.
Yeah.
A lot of them are small, and one of them is a gift, so it has to be finished. So that's incentive to finish it. But I have a lot of other patterns. I have some wintry patterns that I'll probably start on as well. I don't know which ones because I have more patterns than I have whips. At this point, I still have probably at least a dozen patterns, if not more. And I know I'm waiting for the Stardew Valley update to come out to start a new farm, so I might actually start up again on expanding my Stardew Valley stitches I did, because I want to do some of the characters and some of the things around the house of the pattern I did. So I'll probably start those at some point here. Okay. I don't know if it'll be this month or next. But, what about you? Do you have?
Yeah, so I'm gonna finish the Flirting Turkeys and Harper's Forest, and then I've been wanting to get back to Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. It's been calling my name, and I've been ignoring the call, and I need to pick it up.
Now is the time.
I need to answer it and stitch on that. So I'm hoping to get that alphabet done. I think that's going to be my goal for November, which I can do.
You can do.
In the next couple weeks. And then Christmas Quaker.
Christmas Quaker,
I think December 1st.
Yeah, I know that's been on your radar for a while.
Yeah, it's calling to me too.
So those will be our starts coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
is that it for the stitching?
I think that's it for the stitching. I mean, I don't have any other stitching that I really talk about that I'm going to be doing.
Yeah. I had a little bit of sewing, so I'll talk about that next, and then we'll talk about our board games after that. So if you're not interested in those things, we appreciate you spending all this time with us today.
Yes, it's been great having you, and I always enjoy reading your comments and seeing the different posts you make towards us. And
we're just so grateful for each and every one of you for spending time with us, for welcoming us into this community, and being a part of this adventure in our lives.
Yes, and we'll look forward to many more adventures with you hopefully over the next years and decades as they come. So. So yeah, if you're not interested in the sewing and the board games, that's great, and we'll hopefully see you next time.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I guess we'll go ahead and turn to the sewing fragment, and you can talk a little bit about your sewing, the sewing goings-ons you've had going.
Yeah. So over the first week, I worked on finishing the quilt. As I said, that I'm pretty sure is Peekaboo, and I used a bunch of different Halloween fabrics on that. From a bunch of different lines, and it was fun. It was easy. It's mostly squares and half square triangles, which I've used before, but I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, it turned out beautiful. I'm really excited to actually start covering up when it's finished. So.
Yeah, and then I was in project bag making mode. I've had some fabrics like set aside. These are things I'm gonna make bags with.
I bought some for her to make me one that I really wanted to do.
And I looked through, as I said, I was working on kitting up all of the snow people, so I needed some more bags because I didn't have enough winter Christmas bags to hold all the snow people.
Yes. So she did
I need to do some sewing. So I have a big stack of project bags that I've made.
Yeah. So.
All right, so this one you've sort of seen because I talked about the zipper fob that I got, but I made myself a Halloween bag with these spooky dancing skeletons and this starry fabric, so I can keep my spooktacular party in here because I know that I won't finish it this year, so I'll work on it next summer. So this will have a little home. Then I made this one for Michael. Michael loves pretzels.
They're one of my favorites all time. So.
Every day is pretzel day. For Michael, my mom and I found this fabric at an antique mall that we went to, I think, last year. And so it's a project bag with this fun green fabric inside.
Yeah, I was excited about this one.
And then this was some fabric that Michael had ordered. He asked me to make this bag for him.
Yeah, I think it turned out really nice. So.
This is Zelda.
This is Link from Zelda.
Yeah. And the inside is a similar fabric, but it's more of a gray scale version.
It's a gray scale version, so I thought it would be a nice matching pattern. And I need more pattern bags for my projects. So
yeah, well, especially since you're working on that NES one.
Yeah,
is that what you've been keeping?
That's what I've been keeping in. So
yeah. All right, then I made this reindeer one. This is some fabric I got from Joann's last year. Well, the reindeers are. This is from something else with this beigey swirl. And this is from Moda little zipper bowl. I feel bad about this poor reindeer, but I wasn't paying attention when I was cutting it, and I'm sorry.
You'll be fine.
And this is fabric that I got from Joann's last year, this poinsettia. And the top one is from some scraps that I had left over with this presents. And these are already filled with snow people. And then I tried a new thing. I was inspired by the loose thread stitchers. They take old embroidery pieces and turn them into project bags. They show it in most of their videos. It's something that they do frequently. And so I had gone to an estate sale in my mom and dad's subdivision.
Yeah, across the house, across the street from their house. Yeah.
Yeah, last summer, and one of the people who passed away was a really accomplished needle worker. She had so much embroidery, and so I bought a few pieces, and I thought I would turn at least this one into a project bag. I'm not sure about the other pieces that I bought yet, but I followed Vanna Pfeiffer's project envelope tutorial. I hadn't followed that one yet. This is the first time I've made this style of bag, and it was easy to follow. It made a lot of sense to me, the way that she did it. The only thing that I haven't done is put in the Velcro, but this is the project bag that I made. So it's like half of a table runner that the other person had embroidered. And then I just kind of turned that into the outside of the project bag. It took a little math and finagling, but I think I figured it out. And then I had this Lori Holt fabric that I put on the inside. So I'm happy with it. Yeah. It's pretty. I'll keep something
turned out really nice,
springy in there. Yeah.
She did a lot of stitching this
It was
month.
a good experience. And then I also have 4 bags cut out.
That she hasn't actually sewn together yet.
Yeah. I need to get a few zippers and something else.
I don't know.
Zippers.
Zippers she needs. She knows she needs zippers.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she's been doing lots of sewing, lots of cross stitch.
Yeah, and then I have my main sewing plan for the next few weeks is to finish our stockings.
Oh yes, she started these a couple years ago. Yes.
I started it in 2021.
2021.
I started my stocking in 2021.
And then mine was the following year.
These are both Dimensions kits. This, I don't remember the name of them at this time. I'll put it in the description box below. But this is my stocking. And this is Michael's stocking. I finished stitching mine, I think, January of 2022. And then I finished Michael's December of 2022. And they've been sitting in my drawer of potential. So when I worked on that pillow, once again, I was reminded that I need to work on these before Santa comes.
Yes. He'll be here before you know it, too.
Yes. So, my plan is to watch a billion tutorials on how to make stockings, find some fabric, and finish these so that they can hang on our mantle.
Yeah.
When December comes. Will I get them finished by then?
I hope so.
Are you confident in me?
I believe in you.
Okay.
The only question will be is, will you get distracted by too many other things?
I will be distracted by too many things, but...
That's really the only question. I know if you focus on it, you will get it finished, but there's lots of other things to stitch on.
So many things. So little time.
So I think that's all for the sewing segment of our...
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and talk about games.
Yep.
So I'll
yeah, we're going to take a minute to shuffle the stitching, bring over the games, and we'll
be back with you in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. We are back. And I brought over the boxes for the games that we played over the last month. These are games we played more than once. That's the kind of our rule. Ones that we only play once, we don't really talk about. But we'll start with the ones we did on October 1st. We
only played 2 games more than once.
Yes, only 2 games
there
more
than
once.
There were several games that we played one time.
But these were the ones we played more than once.
And they were both gifts that Michael received for his birthday.
Yes, this one we played a lot with some of our friends.
Yep.
So this one is called Freelancers.
It's by Plaid Hat Games, and it's sort of like a light D&D if the DM was an app.
I'll put it down for now. Yeah, so it's kind of like that. They made a couple.
I mean, there's a lot of differences, but
it's similar to that. There's the app.
You're an adventuring party,
and you create your characters at the beginning.
They have, it's like a Mad Libs sheet that you fill out for your character. And
each has its own history that you read from different questions.
Right, so the stories are kind of there already, and you're just adding a little bit of your own flavor to it. So it's good because you don't have to spend a lot of time building a character,
and it's really humorous. The humor is really probably one of the key components of the game.
It's hilarious.
It's intended to be funny. It's not taking RPGs seriously. It's just it's having fun with them.
It's so much fun.
And so it's really better played with more people, which is why
we played the first adventure with my dad, which was a lot of fun. And then we played it again with our friends Will and Shay when they were over. Yeah. And I would say it was a little bit better with 4 people than it was with 3 people. I think you can play with up to 7.
It says it on here somewhere.
I know the part. We also have 2 other games by this company that use similar app technology. And
there's a lot of games that are starting to come out that use companion apps to go along with the game. I think they make it a fun experience. The Frosthaven that I play with your dad has an app. I mean, a lot of them. This one does a really good job with the app. It adds a lot of element of humor in the voices and sound effects.
It does storytelling. It keeps track of different things that you're doing in the game.
Because in this one there's like an overview map that you kind of journey across. And you make choices of where to go, and depending on those choices and what happens as part of those adventures, different things. And the app tracks all of that stuff for you, so you don't have to worry about any of that. And this one was really nice because the app actually teaches you how to play.
Oh, it does. It does a whole tutorial at the very beginning. Yeah. You can say that it's your first game, and it'll walk you through each step of setting up the game, so you don't even have to look in the rules. Yeah. Which is nice.
That was a really well done. I think that was the first game I've played that actually the app did that. It was really nice.
That was excellent.
So it's easy to learn because
I would say this is not for kids.
It's not a kid's game.
There are some adult themes in the humor.
And there's definitely adult themes in the humor.
Yeah, but it's hilarious and fun. And if you like this type of adventuring game.
Yeah, it's definitely, I would recommend this if you like this kind of adventuring game. Yeah. It's definitely for adults, but definitely fun. Yeah. So that was one of the ones we played multiple times. Yep. I'll go ahead and move that out of the way. And the next one we played is called The Seventh Continent. This has been on my list for a very long time.
Your mom got it for you for your birthday?
My mom got me this one for my birthday. And
she doesn't play games.
She doesn't play games, but she knows I do. So she bought this for me. And
so it's an adventuring game?
It's an adventuring game. And so
but it's like a survival game.
It's a survival puzzle game, essentially. You're trying to figure out some kind of puzzle.
Yeah, you were here before on this island.
On the seventh continent.
Something happened. We don't know what. And you're trying to reverse a curse that's been placed upon you.
Yeah, you're cursed, and there's a number of different scenario curses that you can choose from to start the game. And so
we did the recommended one.
We did the recommended one to start, and you're stuck on. You start on this island, and
you just pop up on an island.
You use these cards to build out the map of the island of where you are.
Right.
And
so you're creating a map.
So you're creating a map, and then as you're going, you're discovering clues to the curse that you're trying to figure out.
We have figured out nothing. We played this game. We've lost the game twice.
We figured out some things.
The second time we played, we decided to start drawing a map because I had been reading some Board Game Geek forums to see are we on the right track with this game? Are we playing it right? What are we doing? And some people recommended when you play, make a map. So I made a map the second time, so at least now we know where we are on the continent.
And the cards will have hidden features on them that you can, if you find, it'll unlock different cards that you can.
Right. If you find a certain symbol, then you can use the symbol for something you might find later.
And that one's like Splendid Veil. If anybody's played that, we'll talk about that at some point if we play more than once. But so you'll look at the cards, and there'll be different features that might hint that there's animals that you could hunt to get for food because you have to survive. And also
or is it an animal that wants to kill you?
Or is it an animal that wants to kill you?
We don't know until you flip the card over, and then
yes. So there's a moment of suspense, and if you encounter something, you may or may not have the tools to help you with it. Mm-hmm. You find the tools as you go along.
It's challenging.
It's a very challenging game.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by the story. I don't know where it's going.
So we played it a couple times. We'll probably return to it.
But it's frustrating.
It can be frustrating, but it can also be really rewarding when we figure something out. We figured out, the submarine boat last time.
Yeah.
and how to get it going, which actually helped a lot.
Yeah.
So it's really intriguing and fun, but it's also can be frustrating at times.
Yeah. So we'll see.
So we played that twice, and those are the ones we played in October. The other ones we played on our anniversary trip, we did a lot of gaming in between adventures. So one of the ones we played this one a lot anyway outside of that, so it makes sense. This one is called the Guild of the Merchants Explorers, and it plays a little similar to...
We used to have a game called Kingdom Builder. It's sort of like that, where there's a map in front of you, except in this game, in Kingdom Builder, there's a large map that everyone's shared. And in this game, you have your own little map, and then you're exploring it. So it might say, explore 1 mountain space. So you put your little cube on a mountain space. Then it'll say, explore 2 desert spaces. And you put your 2 little cubes on little desert spaces. But we might be doing different things on our maps.
And the rules to this is that your cubes have to be connected to your starting square, and there are 2 other cubes you've already placed.
Right.
And if you explore all of one different terrain in a little region, then you can put a village on there. And that actually, the villages stay between each round.
Right, so there's 4 rounds to the game, and after each round, all your cubes come back. So you're trying to get the little villages out so that you can get to places easier. Because we're merchant explorers, so you're trying to establish your little merchanty.
You're trying to complete trading routes between different little towns that are on the map. You're trying to discover, there's little gold areas that you can get money from, which money is how you win the game. You're just accumulating money because you're guild of merchant explorers.
Yeah, you want to be the wealthiest.
But there's towers, and then each of the different side maps has a different unique feature to it that the other maps don't have.
So the game comes with 4 maps, and then we purchased an additional expansion that has 2 more maps with it.
So it's really a lot of fun. There's variable goals for each game as well. So you'll draw 3 of the available ones for that map side, and they'll give you additional goals to get points.
We found that we really like this style of game, these roll and write or flip and writes, where you have your thing in front of you, and the other person has their, like, it's almost solitaire. It's
a shared experience, but it's a little silent. So you're not fighting each other as much on the map.
Yeah, there isn't a lot of interaction between us except for the goals. If someone reaches the goal before you, they'll get more money than you do.
But they're really a great experience.
We love these kinds of games. So this was a gem that we found.
Definitely a gem. I would recommend it. You found this one initially at Gen Con.
Yeah, someone had talked about it in one of their leading up to Gen Con videos last year, and unfortunately I didn't see it there, but it was in the hot games room, so we played it there, and we were like, yes.
Yeah, it was definitely.
So I ordered it as soon as it was actually available.
Yeah. So that was one of the ones we played in our anniversary trip a lot, and then the other one we were going to bring out both of them. We only played the one because we brought one, but they're both related. This was the first one.
Clever.
And this one is the second one, twice as clever. And twice as clever is actually the one we played, but they're very similar. They're
if we combine these together, it's probably our second most played game after Wingspan.
After Wingspan, yeah. Wingspan we played a lot. I know we used to play a lot of Spirit Island. I think we got away from that a little bit.
So the idea of it is a little bit like Yahtzee, where you're rolling 5 dice on your turn,
and you'll have a little pad that has different groups of numbers based on color.
Right. So the yellow dice will be marked off in a certain spot. The blue dice will be marked off in a certain spot.
And each of them has slightly different things you're trying to do. So, like, there's a silver, and this one, the one we played a lot of, there's the silver die, and the unique thing about that is if you pick it and the other numbers are dice are lower, those go away, and you don't get to use them again unless you have buybacks. And then, but in the silver area, you'll get those colored dice marked off as well as the silver die. Yeah.
So on your turn, you roll 5 dice, and then you choose one of them to use in one of the areas.
Correct.
Any number lower than that goes away, so you have to be careful about which you choose.
Yes, because you'll get to choose 3 over the course of your
then you get to roll again.
But if you eliminate all of them,
roll again,
then you won't have them. So then the ones that are left over, the other person at the end of it will get to choose one of those for theirs.
Yeah.
So the other person is kind of watching what you're doing and trying to figure out which one they can actually put on their sheet.
Yeah.
So each
I am terrible at this game. Both of these games. I think Michael has won like 80% of our games, but I love it, and I love playing it with him.
It's a fun game.
It's a fun game. It's light. We've played it enough times that there's not a lot of thinking, so it's usually our after breakfast game.
It's really light on strategy. It plays quickly. It really scales well to a number of peoples. It has 1 to 4.
1 to 4.
But it scales well. It plays quickly. It's easy to learn. And it's easy. It's a good travel game because there's not a lot to it. So it's easy. Even if you didn't want to bring the box, you could easily pack it in a smaller container.
Yeah. We're at the point where we're starting to think about laminating the sheets so that we can just swap to a reusable marker.
Yeah,
because it comes with a pad.
It comes with a pad, which is pretty thick, but as you play it a lot, then it goes away quickly. And the scoring is done on the back side of those sheets, and you're always, unless you're playing with 4 people every time, and you're always gonna have, you're just always gonna have more.
Yeah,
sheets.
because we play it 2-player most of the time.
You're gonna have more sheets that have backs than you have actually available to play on because there's no way to keep up. So you end up recycling some of the other ones.
Yeah.
But it's a great game. Both of them are really good. Yeah. We got the first one first, and this one came out later. And
we were given the first one as a gift, and we loved it so much. I saw that there's 4 different ones. They just came out with the 4th one, but we just have these 2, and we love them so much.
Yeah. So I think that's it for the games we played multiple times.
Yeah, the only other game we played
was Bonanza.
And Earth, which we talked about last time.
We talked about Earth last time. Bonanza is an older game, which we could talk about at some point.
Yeah, next time we play it a few times, we'll talk about it.
But some of you may know about that because it is an older game. It's been around for a long time. So I think that's it for our gaming adventures this last month. But I'm sure we'll have a lot more of this over the next month. So I think that's it for us this video, isn't it?
That's it for today.
But
we'll be back sometime in the beginning of December.
Sometime beginning of December. But it's been great. I've been good to be back.
Yeah.
And I'll look forward to seeing all the comments as they come in.
Yeah, we look forward to hearing from you. We hope that you're well. We hope that your month ahead is filled with joy and stitching.
And good food, because Thanksgiving is coming up.
Oh, good food. Yeah.
So,
time with the people that you love. And the things that you love doing.
Yeah. And until next time, we'll see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.